welcome to Sure Is Good. Today I am going to make something that I've never made before. So I'm sure it's going to turn out good, but I'm also going to have to taste it as I go, and let's see what happens. So we're going to be making empanadas. Now I don't particularly care for empanadas, but you know, when you make things yourself, you can make them taste in a way that's more palatable for you. So I'm going to give this a shot, and it's going to come out great, I'm sure. So first we're going to start with something that I don't even usually use. I'm going to be using Beyond Beef. Now this is plant-based ground beef, but this one has avocado oil. The one I normally use is just a plain, you know, ground beef, plant-based beef. And this one is different with the avocado oil. So I will not be needing, empanadas are small, so I'm definitely not going to be needing all of this. So I'm just going to use a small section of it because that's about all the empanada can hold, and I'm only going to make one. So I'm going to only use a strip of this, and I'll probably use, make the rest into a sausage. So I'm just going to cut off a strip of it. Yeah, this is about what the empanada will, dough will hold. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to put that in a saucer, and in a small dish. Yeah, I don't want to make too much. And I am going to, so now here it is. This is the meat that I'm going to be using, my meat alternative. So now I'm also going to be using for the crust, I'm not making my own. I'm going to use the Goya empanada. I'm going to take it out the bag so you can see it really good. So I'm going to be using this Goya empanada dough, discos, okay? So these are already made empanada disc doughs, and they're 6 inches, and these are for frying. So it comes 10 in a pack, and they are supposed to be frozen. So I am going to now put this in the freezer. I took one out, defrosted it some. So I defrosted that some, took one out, and now I put the rest back in the freezer. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to season this up. Since I had a taste for a beef patty, Jamaican beef patty, and I don't really have all the ingredients that I would use for it, I'm just going to make this empanada beef patty. This is going to be my version of a beef patty. So I'm going to take this beef, plant-based beef. Now I'm going to break this up because I want the seasonings to go through the whole thing. Right, so I'm going to flatten it out so that it all is open and ready for seasoning. I'm going to use, this is Lipton's onion mushroom soup. So I use this for seasoning. I don't use it as a soup. I never make a soup with it. I just use it for seasoning. And this is really awesome for seasoning. You can make a lot of things you could just make with this and just use this as a single season. You don't even need other seasonings with it. But since I'm trying to make this like a, you know, kind of like a Jamaican beef patty thing, this is not going to give it the exact flavor that I want. So I'm using this as a starter. This also tends to have, you know, a reasonable salt content, so you don't want to use too much of that. I'm going to back this up. I'm going to back that up with some of these low sodium soy sauce from Kinkimon. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over that, just a little bit. And I'm going to put some Italian seasoning. Now this is just a mixture of like basil, oregano, and those type of seasonings. So I'm just going to sprinkle this in here, just right over it. Okay. You know what I say, if you if you see it, you're gonna sprinkle it so you can see it. If you see it, then you know it's there. Now I'm gonna add my curry. Now this is what's gonna give it that Jamaican flavor curry. Wow, the smell of that is real, right? I can just do like that, just doing that, I can just smell that curry like it is real. So I'm not gonna put a whole lot of it. And the funny thing is, this is one of the things that has more of a smell than it has of a taste. It does have a taste, but the smell is stronger than the taste. Now we're gonna back this up with that old good old allspice that Jamaican cooks like to put in their foods. And I'm just gonna mix them. I'm gonna mix this up now. I'm gonna mix it. As you can see, it's all in there. I'm gonna mix it all together. Smashing it all up, making sure it's all blended in. It's feeling pretty dry, right? It's feeling on the dry side, So I'm just gonna mix it in, make sure it's all mixed in. Okay, now I am going to cook this up in a pan because, like any kind of beef that you're gonna put into a dish, you're gonna cook it up first, right? Fry it up first. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But I'm also going to put this. I'm gonna put this in here. This is red pepper. Now I chopped this up really small because I don't want to have like a really strong pepper taste, like red pepper taste. I want it to be something that blends in. The flavor blends in. So I'm going to actually use about half of this, and I'm going to saute it so I can kind of pull some of that flavor out and cook this down and pull the flavor up out of it so that it goes into the meat well. So I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to pull out a little pan that I can saute it in. I'm going to put just a little olive, going to put a little bit of vegetable oil in it. Okay, put a little oil. So I'm just putting maybe like a quarter size of oil in here, and I'm just going to rub it around. Now the oil is to keep it from sticking, but I'm going to put some water because anytime you want to saute something, you're going to need some type of water content because that's the difference between sauteing and frying it. If I didn't have the water, it would fry. Turn my heat on low. I'm going to add a little bit of water. I'm not going to add enough water for it to boil. Okay, just enough water. Okay, as you can see, just a little bit of water. By adding in more of that, it's definitely going to fry. So I'm going to add half of the red peppers in. And I'm going to let them go ahead and just saute. And that will soften them up, pull the flavor out into the water some, and then I'm going to, just before the water boils out, I'm going to add the plant-based beef, and that plant-based beef is going to pull pull the flavor out of the water that's left, and it's going to start soaking in this softer, because the red peppers are going to become softer. So it's going to also pull out the flavor that still remains in the red peppers. Add that before it all done. And I'm going to let it all just cook up. And this is pretty funny because it doesn't even have the same texture as the regular plant-based beef that I normally use. It's just got like a little bit of a different texture. So, and it's a little drier. Okay. So the oil, apparently the avocado oil is not really keeping it from sticking to the pot. It's starting to stick a little bit, you know, but it's also, you can see like it's getting kind of shiny. So, you know, that's the oil melting in. So I'm not gonna add any more oil. I'm gonna actually just add a little water to it because I don't want anything sticking. I'll add a little bit of water. I'll add a little more water. I want to add enough water so the whole thing, the whole bottom has water. Okay, there we go. Get some good movement on there. Better. See it all better. Okay. Gave that a little try. It actually tastes, you know, similar to a beef patty. It's a little similar. Now I'm just gonna add. It tastes to me like it can use a little bit more soy sauce, so I'm gonna add some more soy sauce to it, and I'm gonna add a little bit of teriyaki sauce because I like the flavor of that. All right. So I am going to add just sprinkle in a little bit of. This is again low sodium soy sauce. Just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that in, and then I'm gonna sprinkle in. Now this is raised, no sugar added teriyaki marinade, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that in also. Okay. Mix that all together. All right. Now this is just about done. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add some cheese. So I'm actually gonna turn this off. I'm gonna add just a sprinkle of taco blend cheese because this is not a lot of meat. I'm gonna add a sprinkle of taco blend cheese, and I'm also gonna add a slice. I'm gonna add a slice of the American Singles white cheese. I want to have a nice cheesy taste, but you know, not too much cheese. You don't want it to be overwhelmed with cheese. You know, let's put that in here. I'm gonna smash it up and make sure it melts in there good. There you go. You can see it. It's getting cheesy. Okay. All right. Now as you can see, the cheese is melted in there pretty good. And this is my meat for my filling for my empanada. Now I'm going to put this in here. I'm gonna rinse this off, and I'm gonna take my empanada dough, and I'm going to put this in the middle. As much as it can hold. Again, this is not very big, so it doesn't hold very much. So I've got like 2 scoops here, and I think this is about as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to take this in. I left the plastic on there so it doesn't stick to the plate. I'm going to, let me move this up a little bit more. Right, I'm going to fold this over, and make sure that I have some space on the ends so that I can smash the ends around. I can smash them down so that this is a little bit dry. And I'm gonna smash it together so I can seal it. Okay, I'm gonna have to just wet this a little bit because it's a little dry. Make sure it's moist enough for this to be tacky. Together. That one's better. Okay. That worked out pretty good. Now I'm going to just flip this. So I'm going to use the paper to just flip it over. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to smash it down on this side to make sure that it is completely stuck together. You don't want it to fall apart when we are trying to fry it, because that's our next step. I'm gonna put a little flame under here. This is a pot of grease. This is vegetable oil. Make sure you take it all the way to the end. Don't be afraid to get that very tip smashed in. That's important. You don't want it sliding out of the dough while you are frying it, or trying to flip it over or fall apart. You don't want that to happen. So as soon as this gets hot, we're going to just put the empanada in there and fry that up. All right, so now I am going to, here's what my empanada looks like. I'm going to put it in the oil and let it fry. This really doesn't take long because the meat inside of it is already cooked completely. So all we really have to do at this point is to cook up the dough. Make sure that's all cooked on both sides, and that really doesn't take long. Okay. I can see from the back it's already starting to brown. I'm just flipping it over. That took about probably a little less than a minute. I just want to make sure the end gets done good. Normally these would be deep fried, so that's why I'm just tilting it back to make sure all the edges get done. The oil gets in there so you can see. So I'm just going to flip it over one more time just to make sure that the whole thing gets browned and cooked well. But I don't want to leave it long enough for it to overcook. Okay. Okay. As you can see, it's nice and crunchy. So now it is completely done. I'm going to take it out. It's nice and firm and crunchy. I'm going to take it out now. And I'm using a straining spoon to get all that oil off of there. And it is done. In less than 5 minutes, it is done. All right, here we are. It's nice and hot. The inside is, the cheese melted in really well. And crust is nice and crunchy. Not too hard, not overcooked. It tastes kind of like beef patty crust. Tastes really good. It really tastes like a Jamaican beef patty. And it's really good. The only difference I would say is the crust is like a little bit more, is a little thinner. It's a little bit thinner, but has kind of like the same crunch to it. So if you want to make a Jamaican beef patty and you don't know how, this is a really much simpler way, and it tastes, it really, when I say it tastes like a Jamaican beef patty, it really does. This is absolutely delicious. Glad I tried it. Came out great, and I will try it again. You guys give it a try. Like, subscribe, and let us know how this turns out for you. Make sure you watch all the videos to the end, and check out our store, Alive and Thrive, and we'll see you again next video. Thanks for joining.